Recording in progress.
All right. Hey, welcome. My name is Danya Powers. I am the owner of Empowered Coaching LLC, and we are empowered divas in this group, and so in my coaching group, and so I really wanted to jump on here and talk about the importance of breakfast, especially in the throes of menopausal weight loss. We want to make sure that we're getting our breakfast in, and so menopause is that age that, well, we're going to do perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause, because I work with a broad age range in that regard. So many women that I start working with are well into their 60s and have started having hot flashes and weight gain, and it's all hormonally related. So it hits us at different ages. Sometimes I work with women in their mid-30s, and so it's just kind of different ages. But menopause is when the body stops producing gradually the amount of estrogen needed because it doesn't need to anymore for fertilization. So we are done with our eggs, and the eggs actually, the process of ovulation produces progesterone as well. And progesterone and estrogen are really critical for keeping weight off. And so when we start through that stage, we have to make sure that our nutrition is in check. Otherwise, we are going to start walking through some weight gain. And those are also responsible for growth hormone, which is a big part of keeping weight off. So starvation diets no longer work. Intermittent fasting especially is going to cause you to put on belly fat during this phase because the body is going to store. And so it is not something I recommend. If you are an intermittent faster, just click and keep going. This is not for you. If you're in your 20s or 30s, this is also not for you. I would have told you in my 20s and 30s, they're just not doing right, or they just need to fast breakfast, or they just need to intermittent fast. It doesn't work anymore. You have to eat and eat pretty consistently and eat quite a bit of food to feed the body so that you can sustain and drop weight. And so it's just a different time of our life. It's the common challenges are weight gain. Better. So common challenges are weight gain, and our metabolism completely changes at this age. Some of it's age related, but some I had somebody say, "Oh no, pain is age related." It's not. You can have a woman that's well into her 50s that hasn't started menopause not have any pain, and the second that she starts menopause, going through symptoms of menopause, pain kicks in, and so it's a totally different thing. So in regard to weight gain, the hormone changes can affect your metabolism because your metabolism has relied upon them to keep your weight steady. So since it doesn't have the hormones to turn to in the same amount, or for me, like I'm still kind of at the infrequent stage. Some months I have plenty of estrogen. Some months clearly I do not have enough, or the progesterone is off because of anovulation or something going on that's not normal. Things just shift, they change. And so those common challenges are an important connector between the two of us. And so dietary habits to support these changes are really critical. So eating consistently is really, really important. And skipping breakfast is a connector in weight gain in almost all facets of weight gain. So people get in their head, well, intermittent fasting is going to cause me to eat less. Problem is, maybe you're not supposed to be eating less. You're just supposed to be in a deficit for your weight. So if you take your weight and you multiply, let's take your ideal weight is 140 pounds, and you multiply that by 12. You write down that number. That's what you're supposed to be eating to maintain that weight. So that already puts you in a deficit for the weight you are if you're 240 pounds. Does that make sense? Now, if you've been eating 1,200 calories, you haven't eaten enough to support any sort of weight loss, let alone a hormonal change. And your body will always choose to support the thing that's going to potentially kill you in lieu of weight loss. Because weight loss storing fat, that can keep you alive for a little while, a long while, actually. But hormonal changes, not taking care of those, not handling those things can hurt your heart, they can hurt your brain, they can hurt. So they are going to handle those because your body's entire job is to keep you alive. And so keep that in mind as we kind of go through this, that your body's always going to choose to help you survive first, okay? So there are a variety of advantages to having a nutritious breakfast. First and foremost, it starts your day right. It's going to give you a ton of energy. You're going to want a mix of protein, fiber, fats, healthy fats, essential vitamins and minerals. And we're going to build a healthy breakfast routine based on what I know about menopausal weight loss. So the whole philosophy behind empowered coaching is that 99% of women need to do some carb cycling if they are in the throes of menopause, menopause, or postmenopause. You have to start with some carb cycling just to kind of shock your system, feed your body, and you get the healthy fats that you need to support menopause, okay? Because your body needs quite a bit of fat. But we also have to shock it with days of lower fat as well, because we are trying to reduce fat, reduce calories, but also feed our muscles with carbohydrates. And our brain desperately needs carbohydrates at this phase. So the recipes that I'm going to walk through are examples of carb cycling breakfasts, okay? So some mornings you have a higher fat, lower carb breakfast, and some mornings you have a higher carb, lower fat, higher carb breakfast. Some mornings you have a lower carb, higher fat breakfast. Hopefully I said that right the first time. If I didn't, I'm so sorry. Totally perfectly imperfect in front of you, especially when I start talking. I'll be like, wait, what did I say? What did I say? Okay, so protein oatmeal is a really great lower carb. It has carbs in it. You want carbs. You just want maybe a lower carb meal for a lower carb day, but you want to have some protein in it. And this is you can add a fat to it and make it a low carb meal with a higher fat in it. Or you can kind of keep it just kind of a low carb, low fat, lower fat meal. But I do a half a cup, and I'm going to make an ebook. And if you want it, just put 10 recipes. Just put 10 recipes, and it will be all yours. So the oatmeal with quick oats is, I do about a half a cup. I do a scoop of protein powder. I like excess sports nutrition protein powder. It's the only one that I like. It has digestive enzymes in it, and it is made of, it's 100% whey protein isolate. So the stomach, my stomach has no problems with it. My stomach does not like every protein powder. Do not eat protein powder that's not whey protein isolate. Heads up. You are going to invest more money, but you are doing your body a favor. This one also has a quarter cup of blueberries, and it has unsweetened almond milk. So it's got a scoop. It's got half a cup of oats, a scoop of protein powder, a fourth a cup of blueberries, and unsweetened almond milk. I use the vanilla unsweetened almond milk. You're basically just going to cook the oatmeal, toss all of it in. It's yummy. I use Splenda to sweeten this because I do like sweet oatmeal. If you don't like sweet oatmeal, don't sweeten it. You can also, if you don't like Splenda, you can use honey. Use like 2-3 tablespoons of, not tablespoons, sorry, teaspoons of honey, or up to a tablespoon of honey. Okay. Blender pancakes are one of my favorite go-tos for breakfast on the weekend. They're fast, and they are kind of, a higher carb meal, but they're quick. Personally, I love pancakes. So what I do is I take 1 banana and then two eggs, about 2 large eggs, and then you're going to take a fourth a cup of oats, just like the last one. We have oats in it for our flour, and you are going to do a half teaspoon of vanilla, a fourth of a teaspoon of cinnamon, and then you can use chia seeds or flax seeds. If you don't like chia seeds, you don't have to, but you just throw all of that in the blender, and then you cook them like pancakes. I put almond butter on my pancakes for this, and just a little drizzle, about a teaspoon of maple syrup, or a couple of teaspoons of honey. And that's what I put. That's what I have for my blender pancakes. This makes about 3 or 4 pretty decently sized pancakes, and they're yummy. Now, I will say this. You're going to want a non-stick frying pan, or you want to spray it really good with non-stick spray, because this will stick. It definitely will stick. But it's delicious, and I love pancakes. I have a lot of different pancake recipes, but this one's one of my favorites. Avocado toast has become a favorite through the years. You can add an egg to this if you need a few more calories, a little bit more protein, about 6 more grams of protein, and some more fat in your day. But it just depends on where your macronutrients are for the day. But you're going to want 1 slice of whole grain bread. I personally like Ezekiel bread. It's my favorite. You're going to have half of an avocado. And I like balsamic drizzled on mine, and some red pepper flakes, and some salt, some flaked salt. So you kind of just put on it what you want. You basically just take that toast it, crush the avocado either before or as you're putting it on the bread, drizzle it with the top. This roughly has 248 calories, 30 carbs, 6 grams of fat. It has more if you add an egg. And it has, or fat, 6 grams of protein. It has more if you add an egg. See, this is going to be one of those days, y'all. 14 grams of fat. So this is a nice high fat breakfast. This is great for a day where you need some pretty good fat, but you need to start the day with some carbohydrates as well, because even your low carb days, you're eating a certain amount of carbohydrates. Even my low carb days for my clientele, I am not taking you down to keto. I am not a keto fan. It is not something sustainable for somebody who's in menopause, and it's not good for you. Okay. It's over time. Men lose weight great on keto. Hard to sustain it again. But women, it's something that's not going to help you during this time of your life. You need to find a way that's going to work forever. So another oatmeal recipe. I'm a huge fan of oatmeal. I used to hate oatmeal, but oatmeal makes me feel so good. It helps me be more mentally aware and kind of be able to handle my day a little bit better. So I am a huge fan of oatmeal. If there is a whole grain cereal that you like, go to that instead of oatmeal. But oatmeal, man, if you can figure out how to like it, it will be your best friend during this phase of life. It's very gentle on the stomach, and it's just incredibly good for you. It's very versatile. So you need 2/3 of a cup of oats. I use the old-fashioned oats. 2/3 of a cup of almond milk. Then you're going to want half of a medium apple, cinnamon, and walnuts. And then again, you can use Splenda, you can use honey, but you're going to combine it. And I put everything except for the apples, and I put it in the microwave for 90 seconds. And when I do that, or the apples and the walnuts, then I take it out and I put the apples and the walnuts in after I stir it up and get the sweetener and get it taste how I want. I like a little bit of dash of salt in this one too. It's just for whatever reason kind of really brings out the sweetness of the apple. But this one has a 354 calories, so it's a stout breakfast, and it's got 23 grams of fat. So it's a nice high-fat breakfast for what you were using it for, because we're using those nuts. So again, what did I say? You need the fats for menopause. It's so important. This is one of my favorite omelets. You can make all different kinds of omelets, but I like the Western style omelets. I like coconut oil, but if you can't have coconut oil, olive oil works. But you're going to use 3 whole eggs for this. This is a really big omelet, okay? 1/4 of an onion, 1/4 of a bell pepper. I like to use 3 different colors. So I kind of go a strip of a bell pepper and toss them all. And there's all different colors. A tablespoon of coconut oil. Measure these things out, guys. And 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt. So what you want to do is you want to get the pepper and the onion and dice it up. Mix the eggs, do some salt and pepper, maybe whisk it together really, really well. Heat the coconut oil, and then make it like you would an omelet. If you are not an omelet maker, which I've mastered an omelet making, and so I like this one. This one's really good, but you can just also make this one scrambled eggs. It's super, super easy. For a higher carb, lower fat breakfast, half of a bagel with a tablespoon of cream cheese, which if you haven't watched my reel, that's about 15 grams. And so make sure that you have a scale. If you don't have a really accurate measure for a tablespoon that's going to measure it pretty accurately, spread that, toast it, spread it on the cream cheese, and then you're going to want to throw 1 big orange or 2 small oranges with that, because that's going to be a nice high carb breakfast, or a cup of fruit that you really, really like, right? Another oatmeal that I really like is carb load oatmeal. Carb load oatmeal has 1/4 of a cup of oats, 1 tablespoon of flaxseed. You're going to use about 1/4 cup of water and 1/4 cup of almond milk, or you can just use a 1/2 cup of the unsweetened almond milk. You're going to use 1/2 of a banana, 1/2 of an apple. You're going to use about a tablespoon of walnuts and a little dash of cinnamon, a little dash of salt. You're going to make the oats just like we said in the microwave, and then top it with the walnuts, apple, banana. Boom. That is one of the best breakfasts. It is big. This is a big serving of yum. It's got 108 grams of carbohydrates in the serving, and so it's a big boost for your morning. So if you have a huge day ahead of you, this is a great way to start it, especially on a high carb day. And so maybe it's got 54 grams of carbohydrates. I apologize. I was like, wait a minute, this is 1 serving, not 2. That recipe has 2 servings on it, although I did read you 1 serving, not 2. 54 grams of carbohydrates, still a big boost. Apples are big this time of year, so I've got several apple recipes. If you want different fruit recipes, let me know. But I've got apple pie overnight oats. Now, listen, I was not a fan of overnight oats. When you pour them out, heat them up if you like them warm. If you don't like them warm, eat them cold. It's fine. I do not put my fruit in them always. You don't have to if you don't want to heat up your fruit. So don't do that if you're going to heat up your fruit. So I put everything into my jar except for the pecans and apple in this. So kind of keep that in mind. But you're going to start with your oats and put them on the bottom of your jar. So it's going to be 1/2 cup of oats. You can use any kind of oats that you want, just not steel cut, okay? And then you're going to put 1/2 cup of almond milk. You're going to put 1/2 cup of Greek yogurt in this, 1/4 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract, and 2 teaspoons of maple syrup. If you don't like maple syrup, honey will work in this. But you're looking at putting some carbs in it, and that is why this is a very low-fat breakfast, high-carb, low-fat. And so they generally go hand in hand for the most part. But you're going to use 1/4 cup of apples, and you are going to use a 1 tablespoon of pecans. And so that is going to make a great breakfast for you. So you just put it in the mason jar, let it sit overnight or 3 or 4 hours, pour it out in a bowl, stir it up, add the fruit and the nuts to it after you heat it up. Yum. If you want to heat it, you don't have to heat it, but I only heat it for about a minute because the Greek yogurt and then freaks me out for like keeping it up too long. But That's just me or whatever. So one my last, no, I've got 2 more egg recipes. So I'm a huge fan of eggs in the morning. If you have cholesterol issues, just double this and take the yolks out. So just have the egg whites. But eggs are just like the perfect food. So if you like eggs, I highly recommend that you figure out some great recipes. Okay. So with this recipe, you're going to do 2 large eggs. But this is called broccoli cheddar egg muffins. 2 large eggs, 2 tablespoons of shredded cheese, a teaspoon or a dash of salt, dash of pepper, a third of a teaspoon of olive oil, and you're going to do about a half a cup of broccoli. I like to chop mine really, really small when I do this. And so you're going to coat just a muffin tin with either liners or spray. I don't ever use liners when I use eggs because I just think it's weird that the paper is on it. I don't know, but I do the spray, or you can actually use that olive oil to coat it, which actually tastes a lot better if you do that. So you're going to steam the broccoli for about a minute in the microwave, and then you're going to whisk the eggs together. You're going to pour them equally into your muffins. I'm trying to think. I think this makes 2 muffins when I make it. It might make, usually sometimes I double it and make 4 because these refrigerate well and reheat. They also freeze well and reheat. So sometimes I make quite a few, and then I just have them. They're a quick grab and go, throw in the microwave for 60 seconds. Boom, you've got your 2 muffins for breakfast, and you're set. But you're going to pour them in the muffin tins. Then I top them with the broccoli, and then I top them with the cheese. So I kind of take the broccoli and pat the broccoli in there because I like it evenly distributed. So I don't like to whisk it first, put it in, and then I top it with the cheese and I throw it in the oven at 375 for about 12 to 15 minutes. Boom, you've got your muffins. The flip side of this is you can scramble this up as well if you don't have as much time. And then one more omelet for you. I know this is a lot of recipes. I told you 10 recipes, 10. Simple 2-egg omelet. This is super, super fast, super, super simple. 2 medium eggs, dash of salt and pepper, butter, 1 teaspoon of it, 4 tablespoons of shredded cheese, 2 tablespoons of salsa, and 2 turkey cold cut slices. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to beat the eggs, heat the butter. This tastes so good with butter. And you're going to pour the egg into the mixture. Just kind of, you know how to make an omelet. Just kind of push the eggs portions to the sides just to kind of get it all cooked. And then when it thickens, you're going to put the salsa, the cheese, and the turkey, fold it in half and flip it if it needs to be flipped. Otherwise, just let it sit and finish cooking, and boom, you've got the best omelet in the whole wide world. That one is delicious. 311 calories, 23 grams of protein. Fantastic protein hit first thing in the morning. Low carb on this one, 4 carbs, but you've got an awesome, great hit of fat of 22 grams of fat. So listen, breakfast is one of the most critical times of the day. So building a really sustainable breakfast routine is really important. And if you are carb cycling, you can't have the same breakfast every day unless you're going to be adding some fats into that and pulling some carbs out. Because on the days that you are having high carbs, you're doing low fat. And on the days that you are doing low carbs, you're having a higher amount of fat. So be mindful that fat is very expensive. Calorie-wise, it is 9 calories per gram. So you have to measure your fats. Otherwise, you absolutely can overeat, which is one of the reasons I starve to death on a keto plan, because really it looks like you can eat a lot of it. You can have one little thing, and that's your calorie intake. But you still have to be in a calorie deficit, even when you're doing keto. The only way to lose weight is a calorie deficit. So remember that. If you ever need help, you just message me help. Like I said, I'm going to make this an ebook for you. I've not finished it yet. I'm working on it this morning. But if you want it, just say 10 recipes and I will send it to you. And you know what? Thank you so much for participating in this today. I hate that we didn't have anybody live, but it's okay. I'm working on getting back into these. Just kind of get my breath back. As you can hear, I still am gasping a little bit because I have not used my inhaler yet today. But you know what? I'm better and I'm healthy, and I was able to teach all my classes so far this week. So I'm doing great. I hope you guys have the best day ever. Remember, healthy looks good on everyone. And I'm so glad that you are part of this class. Love ya.